The back is primarily made up of 5 muscle groups. One of the largest are your traps, which include an upper, middle, and lower portion. Then along your upper back, in between your shoulder blades, you have your rhomboids, which are responsible for bringing your shoulders back, and they contribute quite a bit to the shape and thickness of your upper back. Moving out to the sides, as part of your upper back, you have your posterior deltoids, or the back portions of your shoulders. As we move down the spine, we hit the lats, which are also very large and powerful back muscles that are crucial for adducting the shoulders or pulling the arms down. And underneath all that lies your erector spinae, a deep tissue back muscle mostly responsible for flexing and stabilizing the spine. And believe it or not, we can target all of these muscles very effectively by only using dumbbells. So I want to show you the 9 best dumbbell back exercises that you can do anywhere, even if you don't have access to a gym. And I'll go over sets and reps at the end for a complete workout plan that can be done right in your own home. So let's start first with an exercise that can be super effective even if your dumbbells aren't very heavy, the long angle suitcase row. To begin this exercise, you're going to grab 2 dumbbells and stand with your feet about hip width apart, or you can even stand with them touching close together. But you definitely want to make sure that your stance isn't too wide, or else you'll be hitting your knees with the dumbbells on every rep. Hold the dumbbells to your sides and squeeze your shoulder blades nice and tight together so that you have a big chest that's pointing straight ahead. Then bend down until your back is about at a 60-degree angle from the floor, and make sure that you maintain a neutral spine and don't allow your lower back to round forward. Also, relax your shoulders to allow both dumbbells to hang straight down. From that position, you're going to row both dumbbells back by driving your elbows towards the ceiling. But instead of rowing straight back like you would with regular suitcase rows, you're going to aim to bring the dumbbells further back towards your hips. By doing this, you're going to create a longer lever length, allowing you to hit your lats and the back of your shoulders in a unique way that requires significantly less weight to be effective. Then lower back down and repeat for reps, making sure to really squeeze your shoulder blades together every time you bring the dumbbells up. Up next, we're going to use the dumbbells for bent over high rows. This exercise will primarily target the upper part of your back and the back of your shoulders. You're going to start by standing just like before, with feet hip width, a big chest, and the dumbbells hanging straight down. But with this exercise, you want to bend a little further down so that your back is just slightly above or right about parallel with the floor. From here, instead of rowing the dumbbells back with your elbows nice and tight to your ribs, you want to open up the space between your arms by lifting your elbows away from your body as you pull them back towards the ceiling. At the same time, as you raise the dumbbells, you're going to turn your hand from a neutral position to a pronated position with your knuckles facing forward. Really make sure you squeeze your upper back at the top by imagining that you're trying to hold a pencil in between your shoulder blades at the top of each contraction. Then slowly lower the dumbbells back down as you turn your hands back to the original neutral position and repeat for reps. Due to the angle that you're performing this exercise at and the reduced amount of lat involvement in the movement, you once again don't need very heavy weights for this one to be very effective. Another great compound exercise that works almost every muscle in your body, and most people don't know is amazing for developing your back, is the single arm dumbbell snatch. You're going to start by bending your knees and squatting down, then grabbing a dumbbell with a pronated or an overhand grip. The dumbbell should be hanging in between your feet, and your hips should be just about parallel with the ground. From there, you'll want to explode upward and quickly drive the dumbbell towards the ceiling as you drive through your legs and stand straight up. While doing this, you want to imagine that there's a wall in front of you about a foot away, so you want to keep that dumbbell really close to your body as you're doing it. When doing it this way, you'll feel your shoulder come up first, followed by your elbow and then your hand, and then it'll feel like you're catching the dumbbell at the top with your elbow locked out underneath it. From there, you're going to lower the dumbbell down to your shoulder by bending your elbow, and then from your shoulder, you're going to lower that dumbbell back down to the ground by extending your elbow down and squatting back down. Then from there, repeat for reps. Moving on, we have the dumbbell deadlift, which happens to be one of the best exercises to develop all of your back muscles, especially if you have some heavy dumbbells. But if you don't, you can go for a higher rep count, which I'll be going over with you at the end. To begin, step in between the 2 dumbbells that are set up in a neutral position. Stand in between both dumbbells with your feet about shoulder width apart. You also want the center of the dumbbells to be in line with the middle of each of your feet. From there, hinge your hips, bend your knees, and lower yourself down to the dumbbells. Grip both dumbbells with a neutral grip, stick your chest out and drop your hips down while squeezing your shoulder blades together to pull all the slack out. Make sure that you're not shifting your weight forward onto your toes, and instead try to keep your weight in the center of your foot so that your shoulders are in line with your hands. Also, concentrate on keeping your chest and your hips up before beginning the lift. Then begin lifting the weight up, but don't pull with your lower back. Instead, lift up by squeezing your abs, driving your feet into the ground, and hinging your hips forward until you're standing upright. Once you're standing upright, don't lean any further back to avoid hyperextending your spine. Then slowly lower back down while maintaining a neutral spine until the dumbbells are almost at the ground, and from there, repeat for reps. With any kind of deadlift, it's probably more important than ever to avoid making the mistake of rounding your back forward. By remembering to keep your chest up and your hips up while keeping your core tight, you'll maintain that nice, safe, neutral arc. Next, we have one of the best lat exercises you can do with a dumbbell, the pullover. Pullovers also work your chest as well, but the way I'm going to show you how to do it will focus more on the lats rather than the chest. If you're able to use a heavy weight, I recommend that you set the exercise up in a way that'll allow you to lay perpendicular to the bench. This is going to help you a lot if you're using a heavy dumbbell because you'll be able to drop your hips down to counterbalance the weight. However, if you're using a lighter dumbbell, you can position yourself parallel with the bench instead. Either way, place the dumbbell on the side of the bench, slide down and lay back until your upper back is on the bench, and grab the dumbbell with both hands by forming an overlapping triangle position between your thumbs and your fingers. In this position, both hands will be holding the plates at one end of the dumbbell, and the bar in the middle of the dumbbell will be sitting in between the webbing of your fingers. Do not grip by clenching your hands together or by stacking one fist on top of the other. These are both incorrect hand placements. From there, bring the dumbbell over your chest with your arms extended and with a slight bend in your elbows. Drop your hips down to counterbalance the weight, take a deep breath, and lower the weight above and behind your head towards the ground in an arc-like motion until you feel a nice stretch in your chest and your lats. Then return the weight back up towards the starting position by concentrating on raising your elbows up towards your chest, but don't bring the dumbbell all the way back up in line with your chest because that's when you'll shift more of the tension from your lats to your chest. Instead, stop right before when the dumbbell is in line with the top of your head and repeat for reps within that shorter range of motion to help keep tension on the lats. Next, we have renegade rows, which is a great exercise not only for your back, but also for your core and for developing better balance and stability. Start by getting down on the ground into a push-up position with both hands elevated on a pair of dumbbells, holding them with neutral grips. You want to keep your body in a straight line from the back of your head to your heels, with your chest out and your shoulder blades back. Before beginning, you'll want to shift your body weight very slightly towards the opposite side that you'll be rowing on by rotating your torso away from that side to prevent yourself from falling over once the weight is off the ground and pulling you back down. When doing this, you want to also remember to not turn too far. You only want to be a couple inches higher on one side than the other. Retract your shoulders and lift the dumbbell off the ground while still allowing your arm to hang straight down. Then while squeezing your core tight to stay in that same position, row back by pulling your elbow up towards the ceiling. Once the dumbbell comes up to your chest, lower it down slowly and pause at the bottom with your arm once again hanging straight down. Hold it there for a second and then repeat for reps. Remember to do your reps on each side, one side at a time. Let's move on now to a great exercise you can do with lighter dumbbells, the reverse fly. You're going to start by grabbing two dumbbells with your feet shoulder width apart and your shoulder blades pulled back and squeezed nice and tight together. Then you're going to bend down until your upper body is almost parallel with the ground, and once again let both dumbbells hang straight down. Make sure your knees are slightly bent and that you maintain that neutral curve in your lower back by focusing on sticking your chest up and your butt up the whole time. Don't allow your back to round because even with light dumbbells, your lower back will be vulnerable if you have bad form. Then while keeping your elbows slightly bent, you're going to perform a reverse fly by bringing the dumbbells back towards your sides in an arc-like motion. Then lower them down nice and slow and return back to the starting position to repeat for reps. You can also do this exercise by using one arm at a time and placing your other hand on some kind of platform for support. Doing it both ways is very effective for the back of your shoulders as well as your rhomboids. Next, we actually have another exercise where you'll be leaning forward with one hand up against the platform for support, the single arm dumbbell row. First, you want to make sure that you have a platform that's about the height of your thigh. If you have a bench and you can put your knee up on the bench as well, then you can do that. But if you don't, you can just put your hand on the platform, and with your other hand, you're going to grab the dumbbell with a neutral grip so that your palm is facing towards your body. While maintaining that natural neutral arc in your spine and a big chest, row the dumbbell up towards your chest without using your torso for momentum. As you row, you want your elbow close to your side instead of further away like we were doing with the high rows. Once again, concentrate on pulling with your elbow rather than pulling with your hand to take your bicep out of the movement and to instead focus on your back. Squeeze your back at the top of the movement and then slowly lower back down until the dumbbell is hanging under your shoulder. Then simply repeat for reps. Finally, the last dumbbell exercise that's great for strengthening your spinal erectors is the dumbbell skydiver. For this one, you'll need very light dumbbells, like I'm talking only 5 or 10 pounds, but you would do it by laying down on the ground flat on your stomach with your hands out to the sides holding the 2 dumbbells. Then you're going to lift the dumbbells off the ground while at the same time also lifting your legs up off the ground. Hold that position for a 3-second count and then lower both your upper and your lower body back to the ground before repeating for reps. So those are the 9 best exercises that you can do with dumbbells to get a great looking back anywhere. To get a great workout, you can take 4 or 5 of these exercises and do 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 10 reps of each with a heavy enough weight. If the weight that you're using isn't challenging enough for some of these exercises, like deadlifts for example, you can go for a higher rep count on those exercises ranging from 12 to 20 reps depending on how light the weight feels. You can save the other exercises for a second back workout during the week or for when you eventually switch up your back workouts. That about wraps it up, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video and got some new ideas that you can apply to your home workouts. As always, I want to remind you that building up the muscle and bringing the muscle out so that it can be visible requires 2 different approaches. If you want to have a visibly muscular back, you will also have to make sure that you lower your body fat percentage with a proper diet plan. So if you'd like to skip all that trial and error that's typically associated with coming up with a nutrition plan that you can actually stick to meet your goals, then visit my website where you can get a done-for-you program that'll help you build muscle and burn fat in the shortest amount of time possible. Our programs come with a full video exercise library so you'll always know exactly what you're doing, as well as a diet plan that's customizable around your preferences, whether that be carb cycling, keto, intermittent fasting, 1 meal a day, vegan, vegetarian, and much, much more. And of course, you'll also get an accountability coach, and they'll be there to guide you through the entire process and answer any questions that might come up along the way. To find out more and to learn how you can get the entire challenge for free, you can click the link below in the description, or you can visit my website directly at gravitytransformation.com. I'll see you guys soon.